Hi, I'm Kevin,
And I'm Amanda.
and we are serving up
All that jam. A lighthearted look at the weekend jam bands.
where we break down the jam scene's biggest stories,
Talk new bands.
upcoming tours,
And show reviews. A little laughing, some hot takes, and an always positive message for the community.
Duane Betts.
Word, and there we go. I would like, if this is cool, I want to start kind of in the middle, go to the end, and then we'll try to touch on some of the stuff from the beginning.
Sure.
If that's good with you. I came across something doing the deep dive into your musical journey before we did this, and you toured with Dawes, and I found that fascinating. Can we start there? How you got in, how that happened?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, they're good friends of mine, and I grew up part-time in Southern California in Malibu, and I was friends with Taylor Goldsmith and actually Blake Mills, who they started a band called Simon Dawes when they were in high school, and Blake had started playing with the band I was in when he was about 12 or 13 years old, and then a few years later in high school, he and Taylor started Simon Dawes, which later became Dawes. And then Blake obviously went on to do his solo career and producing great records. And I'm a huge fan of Blake and Taylor's. But yeah, so I knew them, and they were looking for a second guitarist for the touring band. And the record they had just done, All Your Favorite Bands, kind of lent itself to more of my style of playing. So they asked me to join the band for that run. And yeah, there you have it.
There you go. And after, I guess, what was that, 2015 or so?
Yeah, I played with them in 2015 and 2016.
Okay. And then after that, we saw your first EP come out, Sketches of American Music. You want to talk a little bit about what prompted that? You had been out there on the road doing what you were doing for many, many years before 2018.
Yeah, so Sketches was just kind of different sessions taken from different studios over a course of several years. And I just kind of had compiled some material that I thought people would like to hear. And they were more or less demos, but I really wanted to have something tangible for people to listen to. And I had recently connected with Devon after the passing of his father, Gregg Allman. He invited me to do a show for the celebration of Gregg's life at the Fillmore, which was the first Allman family revival. And he invited me to come on tour with him, and I really felt, it was necessary for me to have something to promote and sell and have something to push, behind the tour. So I had all of these demos sitting around, so I kind of just compiled everything I had and picked the best stuff, and that's what became that EP. So yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. It was kind of taken over. I mean, some of that stuff was recorded as early as 2012 or 13, and some of it was recorded right up at the time of release in 2017. So it was taken over 4 years or so.
Right. Go ahead, Amanda.
So thinking about that, then, I mean, I would think that one of the benefits of being able to include kind of that shows a trajectory. Do you feel like there's differences between some of those earlier works and then what came, a little bit later? Like, was that your goal, or did that kind of just happen?
Well, I kind of was just recording demos and experimenting and seeing what I was coming up with. I recorded for that EP, that first EP. I mean, I recorded 3 songs in Nashville with Steve Cropper, and I was just kind of seeing what I could get, and and when I went to put it all together, I just kind of picked the things that moved me the most. So yeah, I was just kind of, I mean, the new record is totally different because we went in, it's a cohesive body of work that was recorded, written around the same time, recorded at the same time. It all has a common thread and a sound that runs through it. So it's a bit different than the first thing I did, you know. And I call the first one I did, I called an EP. I mean, I could have called it an LP, it was long enough, but I wanted, when I went in and really did a real record, I wanted it to be my debut LP, you know.
And
you're
you're
with
talking about Wild and Precious Life, right?
Yeah, Wild and Precious Life. Yeah, my new record that just came out about a month ago.
right, and it's Royal Potato Family. We love Kevin. He has been on before. He's introduced us to a lot of great people. He asked if we wanted to talk to you, obviously. Oh, you want to trace how that partnership came about?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of mutual friends. My friend Larson Sutton, who writes for Relics, he had, you know, kind of spoken highly of Kevin, and then some other folks came into the fold. What Jim Scott mixed, and you know, he knew Kevin, and his manager knew Kevin, and you know, it's a small world, so he really loved the record and understood what I was going for, and wanted to get behind it. So I was really grateful for that.
So I know you've got some touring that you're going to be doing to support that. And, you know, you want to talk a little bit about what that looks like or what you kind of wanted to see for the support of that one, just in terms of getting it out there to people?
Yeah, I mean, you just hit the ground running and try to get the music out to as many folks as possible. You know, we're out right now. I'm in Columbus. I'm on an off day right now, but we just played 2 nights in Port Chester at Garcia's at the Capitol Theater. And we're on tour with our friends Cordovas, who are a really cool band. I don't know if you know them, but yeah, we're all together, and the shows have been great. And yeah, you just keep doing shows and keep getting it out there to people, and it's if you're doing it right, it should be fun. If
And
you're having
this,
fun, then you're doing it
are
right
you
thing.
with Palmetto Motel now? Is that who you're playing with?
Yeah, that's my band. That's my touring band, what I call them. I wanted to give my band a little bit more identity than just having it under my name. Like the record I want under my name, but I have a really great band of musicians, and I just wanted to kind of give it a cool moniker, you know, a cool name for the live band, you know, like Steve Earle and the Dukes, you know, Ryan Adams and the Cardinals, Neil Young and Crazy Horse. So.
Dickey Betts and Great Southern.
Yeah. So.
Oh man, fantastic. All right, so what is your process when going in the studio? Is it different for the solo project than something you do with, say, the Allman Betts Band?
It's a bit different because it's kind of all on you. I mean, this record is not that my personality isn't all over, you know, isn't in the Allman Betts stuff, but you know, when you have a partner and you have someone else singing, and you know, it's not quite as strong an imprint of your personality alone, you know. And I had so much help from all the musicians, and you know, John Ginty, Johnny Statula, Tyler Greenwell, Barry Dwayne Oakley, all of the core band, and all of my guests, you know, Bobby Cheese and Jim Scott, you know. So it was a group effort, definitely. But I mean, this was kind of like my vision. You know, I assembled the team. I put this together. I brought in the folks that I really thought would work well together and work efficiently. And I really kind of just put this thing together. I mean, Derek and Susan, I ran into them at a birthday party down in the Keys, and they were asking what I was up to and what my plans were. And I said, well, I really want to do this record. I've written some songs and I'm writing some more songs, and I really want to get in and do a Duane Betts record. And Susan immediately said, well, yeah, you should come record at our studio at our house. So that was kind of that was kind of the spark of giving it a path of like where to do it, how to do it, who to do it with. And it kind of just, it was kind of like, don't tempt me with a good time, you know. So I was immediately on it, and I started putting it together and just producing, you know, more or less producing the what became to be the session, and then, you know, getting everything together for it. And then, you know, that's how records are made. You just kind of, things fall into place and you make a few calls, and the next thing you know, you're there. So but
were the songs on this new one, were they road tested at all, or it was everything was written and then done in the studio first and then you took them out live?
Everything was written before it was played. None of these songs had been played at all before they were recorded. Yeah.
Interesting. You want to go, Amanda? I know that you're tight on time.
I know, I'm so sorry about that. This is kind of a bigger picture type thing. I guess I'd just be curious, you know, how you negotiate kind of honoring your roots with something like this, but also at the same time, you know, moving forward and doing new or different things. Is that something that you feel like you have to balance here, or is it just really your expression, you know, of kind of where you bring all that into?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I think it's important to be natural and true to who you are, you know. So I don't run from the way I play. I play I play the way I play, and that may or may, you know, that may sound like my dad to some people. I mean, there's a lot of people I'm influenced by, and you can hear a lot of people, but you know, my father and Duane Allman and, you know, people like that are big influences. You know, I mean, I grew up listening to Duane to my father and Warren Haynes every night. So, you know, those people kind of, I heard every night, and I heard the way the band played. And so that music is kind of part of who I am. But I don't, you know, I feel like if you go make a record and you go write a dozen songs or so, and you put a great record out, then you're not really in danger of, like, if I was going out and just playing like my dad's songs, I mean, I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't be happy doing that, you know. So I think you just have to kind of make your own way and create your own art, and just be true to who you are. Don't try to run from who you are. But I definitely like a lot of stuff that is a little different than what people might expect from me. And, you know, that stuff might come out a little more on the next record. But again, like, I like a lot of stuff that, like, I love Radiohead and The Cure and stuff like that, but that's not really who I am, right? So I'm not really gonna start doing, like, I'm not gonna do like a goth record, my next record or something. But
you could do a southern rock version of Love Song or something by The Cure.
yeah, I mean, there may be some kind of play in there, but yeah, I think I may have overcomplicated the answer to that question. But basically, I just do me. I just try to play the way I play and not worry about the rest.
How is your dad doing?
He's good. He's good. You know, I mean, he's enjoying the retirement and watching football, and eating seafood, and he's doing good. He's just relaxing,
That's
as he should.
fantastic. Okay, so let me ask you this. This is popping in. Your father was obviously had a ton of experience in the music industry. What did he teach you about that, as apart from playing music?
That's really funny. I could say some funny things. Not to trust anyone. No. Just to kind of be responsible and keep an eye on your business, but also to work hard. You have to work your way up. Things aren't handed to you. Even, people think that because your dad is a famous musician, that everything is handed to you. Some people do, not everybody, but and that's just not how it is. I mean, I've worked really hard to get where I'm at, and I have so much work left to do. And it's always, once you get to a certain level, there's always another level that you want to get to, so it's hard work and dedication, and you have to kind of, get through some of the pitfalls of youth. Like I got through, addiction, and I got through a lot of that stuff. And now here I am in my 40s, and I'm kind of like really making my first solo record, which is kind of and people ask, well, why did it take you so long to do it? I was, well, I never sang until I was always a guitarist. And then I started singing when I was in my late 30s, and then I did a couple records with Allman Betts Band and did my EP. So yeah, this is my first full-length record. But so yeah, I just feel really grateful to be where I'm at. And yeah, my dad's taught me so much about how to lead a band, and just seeing the way he runs things, and kind of is able to, was able to have a very long career.
Definitely.
Well, I'm in my 40s also, and I've read that it is not until you get to that point that you really have that identity piece, starting to come together. And it's a different way of thinking about things. So I love the fact that things happen when they're supposed to, and that album came together at the time that it was meant to. And I'm sure that feels really good, knowing that, when you got there, it was the right time and the right moment for that, rather than like pushing for something.
Yeah, no, it all feels natural. It all feels right. It came together organically, and we're just all really proud of the record. We want people to listen to it, and I'm really happy with the response thus far. So just keep getting it out there, keep playing shows. Like I was saying, you just got to keep playing shows and keep doing your thing, and spread, hopefully it spreads, smart people listen to it.
Like you said, around the time you did the EP, the Allman Betts Band formation, you want to talk a little bit about that? Like maybe some goals? What did you have in mind when you guys said, hey, let's create this band? Was it, let's carry on the legacy of Southern rock, jam band Southern rock, or was there something else in mind?
Well, I think I kind of, we just had the idea that we had just done a tour together where I was opening up and jamming with his band at the time. And I had Johnny Stachel out with me. So we started talking about forming a band, and we called up Duane Oakley to be a part of it, and do a record. I mean, it was kind of just felt like the next natural step at the way things were going. It's just, we had to do it. I mean, it seemed like there was kind of like a buzz about it, and we really wanted to put out some original music. Yeah, so we recorded Down to the River in 2018, I believe, the end of the year, and then toured on that, yeah, and then we made the second record and toured on that for a while. Then COVID hit, and then but yeah, we're really proud of the stuff we did, and you know, who knows, we might do another record sometime. So
Nice. Let's okay. Well, we stopped for a second. Amanda's gonna have to pop off on us.
okay,
So sorry, but thank you. I know you'll have a great rest of the conversation. We appreciate
that's
you.
all.
Yeah.
All right,
for
thanks,
sure.
Amanda. Nice meeting you.
Yes,
Nice
you
meeting.
too. All right, take care.
Bye.
Okay, so let's how do you approach honoring the legacy of the Allman Brothers Band while infusing your own creative contributions into these collaborations?
I mean, I don't know. I don't really think about. I mean, I feel like if I'm playing guitar, I'm honoring the legacy. You know, I mean, if I'm just doing, if I put a guitar on and I'm playing in sound check, whatever I'm playing, I'm on. Like that's enough of honoring the legacy. You know, I mean, I like to play the music, especially if it's with people that played in the band. If I'm with Chuck LaBelle or Warren or, you know,
Derek,
or, you know, I mean, I'm not opposed. I mean, I play the songs. I know all the songs. It's easy, right?
right?
It's, like if somebody
They're in
asks,
your DNA, basically.
if Eric Krasno wants to play, you know, if they want to play, if Soul Live is playing and they're like, hey, you want to come over to the stage and do like a cool version of Liz Reed, like, yeah, I'm down. I don't have any problem with it, but and I'm grateful to be part of such a strong American musical legacy. But I don't get into the, you know, like we've got to honor the legacy, and I don't know. I just feel like I do that just by being me and by playing the way I play is honoring the legacy. I don't even have, if I didn't play an Allman Brothers song for the rest of my life, I mean,
You'd be okay.
well, no, I mean, I don't know why there's any reason that I wouldn't.
Right.
You know, I don't know how I would feel. It might be a relief, but I would probably no. It would probably be more. I would probably panic. Actually, I'd be like, "Wait, you're taking that away from me?" That's like, you know. But yeah, I don't feel this weight to honor the legacy. I mean, I just think that's part of the natural intangible thing, the idea of playing the music that we play and speaking the language we speak is honoring the legacy.
So enough, right? I hear you. Now, with your band, do you guys incorporate? What did the set list look like? Is it all just your solo stuff, or do you throw some of the Allman Betts stuff in? Are there Allman Brothers Band songs?
We're playing a lot of the record, and then we'll play. There's a couple things that I've written, that Allman Betts Band things that are more like staples, my staples, that we'll play. And then we'll do a Blue Sky or a you know, a mountain jam. We did a mountain jam last night for the first time in a while. We did like a mountain jam into Blue Sky. And then we'll play, you know, we might play a Bob Marley song or something. We might play a Peter Green song. We might play a Rolling Stones song, you know. I mean,
What are you doing?
it's not like it's my stuff and then Allman Brothers and that's it. You know, I mean, it's kind of I mean, it's almost kind of the same approach as it's kind of what we do in Allman Betts Band in a way, you know. It's just the big difference is that I mean, I have this solo record, so that's the stuff that we don't play in Allman Betts Band.
Right. How do you approach collaborations with other musicians? Like, how do you build trust? Like when you walk into a studio, if you haven't played with someone before.
Oh, well, you just kind of hope that, you know, that they can play and that you can play that day. No, I mean, you basically, a lot of the folks I play with, I mean, I know of, I know how they play. So, but you kind of just go into situations being open and being excited to grow and branch out and meet new people. So if I'm playing with people that I haven't played with, that I don't know who they are, but they might be from a different field, like they might play with like Beyonce on tour, and I have no idea who they are, but I find out, oh, they then that's really gratifying to me, because that kind of puts me out of my comfort zone. And
Right.
I like being put out of my comfort zone and playing in different situations with musicians that aren't from the normal, maybe the jam band community, or they're kind of like part of the jam band community, but like through a different avenue into the jam band community. You know what I'm saying? So I always like it when I'm playing with people that are really good, that come from a kind of a different school, that I can learn something from. But yeah,
Okay.
as musicians, you kind of just do your thing and fit in with what's going on, and it's kind of like it's kind of a language, you just kind of figure out what works.
Right. Now, when you're doing something like longer improvisation, you had mentioned Mountain Jam. I don't want to pigeonhole us back into the Allman Brothers there, but when you're doing the longer improvisation, there's a
You
certain.
can use one of my songs. You can I mean, actually some of the songs on the new record are opened up live to where they're long improvisations, and they aren't like Stare at the Sun is one that we had Derek Trucks on the
Right.
record, and he plays a beautiful solo. And live, we've kind of stretched out the arrangement to where I kind of take his place and we kind of break it down quiet, and I just go as long as I want. And it's a really cool section to kind of build up and work into a frenzy,
Right.
max it out, and then go back to the head of the song,
Right.
to the I don't know if you'd call it the head of the song, but the
The
big
theme. I
crazy.
always say you go
But
back into
yeah,
the theme after a jam.
but yeah, so go ahead with your question. So Mountain
Oh,
Jam, you had a question.
yeah, no. Well, I mean, I guess it's the spontaneity of the moment, and how do you ensure a cohesive, engaging musical experience for both yourself and the audience while allowing yourself that risk taking in the songs?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about listening. The band listens to each other, and that's the conversation. Hopefully we're having a conversation. The audience is intuitive and listens and kind of feels that there's this conversation going on, and then it kind of works itself into something. And when it's really cool is when we don't exactly know, we don't know where we're going exactly. Last night some really cool stuff happened that we didn't rehearse. But yeah, I mean, as far as soloing, like when I'm soloing on something like that's over a really simple chord change, that just like Blue Sky, or just for layman's terms, that everyone knows that, the solo is, it's just two chords over and over, but you kind of you can you can go, you can paint whatever picture you want to paint, you know, and you can really be safe and just play the licks, that you learned when you were a teenager,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of just run licks together. Or you can kind of use some of those licks and kind of create melody on the spot, so when you're kind of playing melody and not playing like stock licks, like that's something my dad taught me, is like you kind of writing melodies on the spot and playing them, and then kind of, there's a way to ask a question and answer it, with your playing. And that's something he taught me. You ask the question and you answer it, then you kind of change the melody, and you're kind of just creating this stuff on the spot. And when it really is working, it feels like you're really coming at it from a different angle than you might have the night before,
Yep.
There's a lot of different ways to there's a lot of different paths to take, out of the forest or into the, I don't know, whatever
What metaphor we're working with?
metaphor would work best. But yeah, I mean, sometimes I'll really challenge myself and I'll really try to go at it a different way. And it doesn't always work, but it feels really good because you're really onto something, even if you don't quite get there. And the audience hopefully feels that it's not, they're not getting a guitar solo that, oh yeah, he's playing a guitar solo. They're getting like something where they feel like you're reaching, and they don't know what you're doing. They don't know if you're even getting there, and you might not get there, but you're not going to let you're not going to let them down,
Right. Exactly.
Like that's what they feel like. You want to make it to where they don't know what you're doing, and they don't know what you're trying to, where, if you're going to get to where you're trying to go, but you're not going to let them down while you're doing it.
Do you find that something like one of these things that you find and that you'll latch onto will appear again and again? There's a famous run of Dead shows from January 78 where every night out of space, Garcia was playing with the Close Encounters theme. Until the last night of the tour, he finally nailed it. He finally figured it out. But every night during space, he played with that theme until it.
Yeah. Like he probably could have just learned it while he wasn't on stage, but he didn't want to, because he wanted to keep reaching for it in a way that was organic. That, I mean, he could have taken 5 minutes and learned it.
Right. Well, I'm saying when you find something, let's say you find a cool little thing in a jam, do you say, hey, do you put it in the back of your head, I'm coming back to this, or is it something that disappears and maybe shows up again and you're like, oh, I remember that?
No, I'll do something. Oh, that was cool. And then I'll use that melody in the way the phrase is against the rhythm. The melody might be something I never played. The phrase is something I never played, but I'll intertwine it back in. I'll keep coming back to it because I thought it was cool. Like I did that the other night. I'll do, yeah. I mean, you just kind of, and it's like it rubs different because, oh, I've never played that. It's like it goes against the rhythm different, and you just kind of tell a story. I mean, you just kind of weave it all together and, build it up and work it up. And, I mean, it's the way my dad played. I mean, that's the way my dad, plays, and that's the way I try to play. Sometimes when I'm lucky and I can pull some stuff out of the hat, every now and then I can pull a trick or two out of the hat, but I feel like that's when I'm at my best, is when I'm because I mean, there's guys that can play circles and have a million licks and can play this and play that. That's not really I'm a good guitar player, but that's not, I feel like when I'm at my best, I'm just I'm really letting it just be what it is at the moment. So
fantastic. So September, October, and November, you have 3 different things coming up. September, you're touring with Oteil, 15th through the 30th. You want to talk a little bit about that? And I mean, obviously, Oteil has the pedigree, having played with the Allman Brothers for all those years.
Yeah, I mean, Oteil, anytime I get to play with him, it's an honor. I mean, he's just such a fantastic musician, and there's so much to be learned from playing with him and from playing with the other musicians that he assembles, for his bands. I mean, they're all top of the line people, and musicians and people. I love playing with Steve Kimmock. I love playing with Melvin Seals. I love playing with Johnny Kimmock. I love,
is that the band this time? Is that who the band is?
Williams Jr., Jason Crosby. I think Jason Crosby and Melvin are going to be in this band. Kimmock, the Kimmock father and son, and Lamar Williams Jr., who's one of my good friends, who's just fantastic, just such a fantastic singer. So yeah, it's a really great band he's put together, and I'm really stoked to be part of it.
Right now, have you guys rehearsed, or is rehearsals coming up, or is it just going to be show up?
I don't know. We'll probably just show up. We might rehearse the day of, but we rehearse at the gig, maybe. It's kind of not a lot of rehearsals, man. They cost money. You got to rent a space and pay people. I mean, I go through that with my band. I would love to rehearse, but it's like, you spend so much money by the time you even start the tour that it's like
head back to your parents' garage.
Yeah.
So do you have any idea of what the set list are going to look like? Did you get any heads up?
Not. I imagine they'll be different night to night. But yeah, I mean, obviously they'll have some of his tunes. We'll play one or two of mine. Play obviously some Allman Brothers stuff and some Grateful Dead stuff, some Jerry Garcia stuff, and whatever else. I mean, the last show I did with him, or actually no, the last. I mean, he plays all kinds of stuff. I don't know what he's gonna want to play.
Right. Well, he just released that Lovely View of Heaven, or it's coming out.
Yeah.
That he did the whole album of the Garcia ballads. Have you heard any of that?
I've only heard clips on social media, and it sounds fantastic. I mean, it's great. I know he recorded it. He was talking about it. I knew he had recorded it, and yeah, he's excited about it. So that's
up in Iceland. I think Jason Crosby was part of those sessions. We talked to him a few weeks back.
Yeah.
So that should be fantastic. It's strange because it's all the ballads. So I'm just wondering, like, whether it's going to be one shows up a night, kind of thing. We had talked to Matt Bush, who is Bob Weir's manager, about doing set lists, and we were like, why doesn't Oteil get to sing more? And he's like, well, Oteil sings all ballads, and I can't have two ballads in a set, because then the band's going to be like, what are you doing to us? You put two slow songs in. So that became a problem with them. All right, one more thing we'll get into, and I'll let you get back to the road there. In October, you have the Allman Betts Family Revival Tour. I know you had mentioned earlier, I guess 2018 is the first time that happened.
Yeah, I believe so. Or maybe it was 2017, because it was December
before. Right.
Yeah, it's the very end of 2017, I believe. I could be wrong, but anyway, so this is the 7th year running, I believe, and so it started out obviously after Gregg's passing. Devon put this together to honor his father, and we've done so for many years now, and it just kind of got to a point where we're playing a lot of my dad's songs, and my dad's getting up there in age, and we both thought it was time to kind of make it clear that we were going to honor both of them and both of their catalogs and both of their legacies. And so this year we're going to play a set of Gregg penned material and then a set of Dickey penned material. And that's the first time we've done this. So I'm really excited about it. I really want people to come out. I really want people to come out to see Oteil. And I really, really want people to come out to my shows, because I'm like the underdog here. I'm the little guy. I need your help.
Right.
Come out.
And then November is when you're going to be back on the road. This tour has another couple nights. You're Ohio tonight, and
this leg of the tour has another couple nights. Yeah, we're in Ohio, and then we go back out in October with my band, and we're doing some shows with Cordovas in the Southeast and the East Coast, I believe, and then a few with Dust Bowl Revival. And then after that, there's a week of shows roughly out in California. They're not announced yet, so I don't know.
This won't be out for a little while, so we're not gonna.
We're doing a week of shows with GA20, which is a really, really cool band. And then the Allman Betts Family Revival kicks off after Thanksgiving. And yeah, so that's the rest of my year.
Nice. Nice. Anything
cool.
else you want to throw out? Do you have any nothing hiding in the wings there you want to let out?
No, nothing, no announcements. Just that look forward to seeing everybody on the road. Go listen to the record Wild and Precious Life. Follow me on Instagram, Duane Betts. Any other social media you can find me. No. I'm just really grateful for everybody giving me the opportunity to play this music. And, you know, most of all, I would love for folks to check out the record in all seriousness. I joke around a lot, but it means a lot to the artists, you know, to see that people actually hear the music, and it's getting out there. And so, yeah, that's all I can ask is just give the record a listen.
There we go. All right, I'm gonna stop this and then we'll talk for 1 second. You stop recording to the.
If you are enjoying All That Jam, please like and subscribe to our social media channels at All That Jam Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our website, allthatjampod.com. Make sure to sign up for our email list and tune in every week for new episodes.
Also, look for full interviews on our YouTube channel. And remember, stay beautiful, but don't stay underground too long.